This is how anime reviews should go.
Hello everyone, this is MykeCheck'd 95 along with my cohorts
Krieger Margin 1
and
Jokester.
and we're actually going to be covering something new for the channel because I've honestly never covered anything of this topic of the channel, and it is, I get, you would say anime, correct?
Yes.
It is animated Japanese cartoons, therefore anime.
For this video, we're going to be discussing our thoughts on the entire series of Dragon Ball Super, apparently excluding the Broly movie because that is not canon. I will let you guys, I guess, take the floor for most of it because I did miss quite a few. I can base off my memory from the two movies that we've seen. I guess we'll give the floor to Krieger to start out with. Krieger.
Oh, okay, so just touching on the series overall, some things that I like and I don't like, or even people that have complained about things, is the lack of gore, as you've seen in Dragon Ball. I think we were talking about there's no Vegeta uppercutting through somebody's gut and killing them and blood spurting out. I do like how much callbacks they have to the original series on everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's moments in like the one whenever Goku's waiting for Frieza to be revived by Baba, he's out there fighting, replaying the fight of him and Grandpa Gohan fighting and from the original Dragon Ball. So they have callbacks throughout the entire series. That's basically nostalgia.
Some good and some bad.
Yes.
I'm mainly pointing out the 5 robot creation, creating the rip-off Dollar General version of Janemba, even though I hated Janemba.
I'm just glad for Dragon Ball to be back after like so many years, and then they're still making content, and this isn't even the end of Super. It's just a pause in Super while they continue. They're still making storylines for him. Which they recently announced that there will be a new Dragon Ball Super movie with the return of somebody from Z that they have not said who.
I don't think it's going to be Janemba.
What are the ones we talked about?
You wanted Cell,
Yeah, I want Cell.
but like I feel like that would,
He doesn't have a soul.
yeah, that whole, I think that would involve a lot more time travel when it came to that. Cooler was mentioned too.
Yeah, that was the one that I remember thinking that was really likely.
Cooler.
Especially with the way Frieza is now, that would be a really good example to make Frieza into an anti-hero because he does not like his brother. He can make his brother really strong and he'd show up and say, hey, fuck you. These are my people to kill, not you.
I think you even said something about Garlic Jr. too.
That was a possibility, but because he's stuck in the dead zone technically right now, so he could get out of the dead zone. But he's also one of my least favorite villains of all time, next to Pilaf.
Well, the other thing is, not necessarily big battles, but because the 6th universe is back, they can do more crossovers like the baseball game of just goof-toofery.
Between all of the arcs, what was your guys' favorite arc in Super?
See, I am probably just going to have to go through the movies on the first two, and I was kind of spotty in the Goku Black Zamasu stuff, and then not so much spotty, but less spotty when it came to the Tournament of Power. Based off what I saw on the episodic anime that we just watched, I would probably have to say the Tournament of Power, because I felt like that had the most character development out of pretty much every character we had and seen in the series at that point.
Same, I like the Tournament of Power, but there's no way that was 48 minutes, whatever.
46 minutes.
46 minutes, that was frickin' fibbage. It was like 30 hours.
That's a callback to saying Namet's gonna blow up in like 3 hours.
And
Fucking 150 episodes later.
Like, when they wrote this, they never intended ever to have that time run out. They're just...
Yeah, it didn't even run out the end. I think they still would have, if they calculated, we still have a minute and a half, even though we said it was 2 minutes 3 hours ago.
Well, I like how they were really counting down until it got close to the end. They're just like,
nope.
It's almost over.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3.
If the anime was pretty much like scene for scene, just stretched out like the two movies were, I would probably say the only thing that I didn't really like was how Resurrection F ended. The Return of Frieza arc.
Oh,
I did not like how it ended.
Because you're butthurt about.
I mean, like for me, I felt like that would. I mean, I know their bullshit reason was it would mess up the timeline because Goku has to do this and that, and it's like, well, you're defeating the purpose of Vegeta getting redemption and having a story arc with his character, because Goku wasn't exactly screwed over by Frieza for like most of his life. That was Vegeta.
So there wasn't enough time to warn Vegeta to do it quicker.
Yeah.
And Goku only had one shot. So he did it out of necessity. Story-wise,
But like,
it was
I
really
mean,
douchey. But like in that moment of Goku, it's his only choice he had.
I mean, you could say otherwise, but that's my only complaint about the Resurrection F arc. I think you said they put in a lot of filler that wasn't really needed in the Battle of the Gods, just because they had to put it in episodic form and whatnot. I think they stretched out the whole Vegeta versus Beerus fight after Bulma gets hit in the face.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was done better episodically than in the movie. I really liked where he's like Vegeta is grabbing his face before he, in like rage and shame at the same time. You saw a vein sticking out of his forehead, and you're just like, okay, he's about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do that in the movie. They did it different, and I was like, I really hope this is the one where he grabs his face, because that one's so much better.
Favorite thing about Super?
Like favorite scene?
Well, favorite like generic thing I
Colors.
well the color
I liked
patterns,
the animation style, how it sometimes it would go
Animation.
back to like how it looked in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked in my opinion, what made Tournament of Power the best one is because at one point they had different animators animating, and they had
Yes.
different art styles.
Mm-hmm.
There was one specifically, don't know, because we don't know who did this specific animation, we didn't look it up, but there was one where all the Saiyan and other people's hair actually moved, because if you look through a good portion of stuff, other than when they power up, their hair is like pretty stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And so like their hair was moving, and it looked like they had more seriousness in their face, more depth.
It was a different animation. They looked crisper. Their noses were like pointier. The colors were more dynamic. They only did a couple episodes with that specific animator, but he was really good.
They zoomed in a bunch, so it was like a lot of like actual movements. It wasn't like, yay, side profile, It was like actual dimensions, and people like Vegeta did like a backflip and his like flipped his hair around. And it was pretty cool.
I liked the different transformations that they did. I really liked that they took different. Everyone's taking different paths to power between Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
They're not all just like, yay, Super Saiyan 17.
They've set Gohan to be at a god level in the future, because he said after he got eliminated, he's gonna break past that in his own path. And Vegeta basically said the same thing too.
Yeah, because Gohan, I mean, like, technically he's still in his base form, but
He's using his ultimate
Yeah,
Gohan form, which
yeah.
counts as a transformation.
pretty much. And Vegeta's just...
That one is weird.
Yeah, he's using the hyperbolic chamber and everything, for one. A lot of it is fueled by his pride.
Yeah, I was gonna say because and from what I've heard in the upcoming things, apparently he's gonna be having access to the God Destroyer transformation, which completely changes your personality. Like it, whenever you saw Toph, he was all about justice. He transformed and he was all about destroying. So Vegeta, instead of about pride, could just be about destruction.
I have the power to destroy what I want.
Like he would, like Toph was completely obsessed with it once he changed, like a completely different personality.
That's a
after he got out
horrifying
of the
way.
form.
That's a horrifying way to look at it, because if it changes his personality, well, pretty much you're going to get old Vegeta before he turns
Yes,
good.
so
and that's going to be
Vegeta kills his wife and gets mad at
So
himself.
just don't piss off. Just don't piss off Vegeta, because he's going to transform into a destroyer, and he's just going to blind rage Majin Vegeta kind of thing. And that makes sense because Majin and Vegeta also changed their personality slightly because they were being under mind control.
For me, most of this is actually in the Tournament of Power. It's honestly how the story went, and how the character development, like, it showed, like, the emotion in, like, all the fight scenes and, like, what each person was fighting for and whatnot. Jiren seemed like a self-centered, selfish bastard, but I understood his reasons why. Because it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of like with Vegeta, but Jiren is on a whole different level.
Yeah, he was OP and a badass.
Yeah. Another thing that I did like, but also something I didn't like, is the flip side is, hi, I'm Goku, Kamehameha. Hi, I'm Goku, Kamehameha. Hi, I'm Goku. But at the same time, they did learn stuff like the ability to put energy on the ground as a mine, the ability to throw an energy ball, pause it, then smack it into somebody's face. Frieza being able to make the like laser cage. And the other thing is everybody working together. And you get to see each person battle a different character, but you also get to see characters that would never team up actually team up. So like 17 and Frieza.
And that ending part with Goku and Frieza both working to get rid of him.
The power of trust.
And then the power of family.
The power of trust, not family. They are not family.
I
hate you, you ugly monkey.
I sent a meme to Mike. I tagged him in it. That was that scene when they're getting Jiren out instead of saying friendship.
It is currently the thumbnail, and if you guys want to see it again, here it is.
Right in front of Dylan's face. But something else I did like is flashbacks. So going back and actually watching Dragon Ball again. So the flashbacks to, you said Goku and his granddad, but then also at the very end, the flashback to all of the series. And what I love is it's like Goku is stupid and Goku is full of absorbing all this power, when Goku's actually like, hey, somehow his stupid and his crazy and his fight creates friends out of enemies, which is really interesting, and they tied in at the end. But,
enemies or frenemies, I would say.
But also, something I liked was Krillin. It's everybody, it starts off in Dragon Ball Super like, oh yay, nobody's really training, everybody's all bored. And then it slowly, everybody gets to start training again. But it's like, Gohan. Well, Gohan's not training. And so Goku's like, I'm going to train with you for a little bit. And we see Krillin. Krillin's like, yeah, I'm sad, and I'm a dad, and I suck. And it's like, no, time to go back and learn a new thing and go on an adventure. And so that was a cool flashback to all of the adventure that Krillin and Goku had been on, because Goku's been without Krillin. Like, Krillin's been there, but Krillin's kind of been like this sad little guy on the side, and it went back to them being friends again, which is what made Dragon Ball originally cool.
Speaking about being disappointed that certain characters have became pretty much cannon fodder up to the Tournament of Power, I was very irritated that besides Krillin, that Piccolo was turned to a complete side character too. And it's like Piccolo had a very important role when it became to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and now he's just sweeping up Bulma's yard.
He did beat Gohan in the whenever they're prepping for the thing. Even when Gohan was in his ultimate Gohan form, which went square to square with Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Piccolo still beat him.
That's something that's interesting, was they also, everybody got their own fight. Even if they didn't get a lot of fight scene in the Tournament of Power, they got fight scenes with Goku in practice, which was cool.
And how each character had their own like pretty much their own episode fighting characters, like even freaking Master Roshi.
Master Roshi had the
beautiful.
fucking fourth most amount of eliminations in the whole tournament.
Oh my goodness.
He went hard. Like, when's the last time we've seen Tien do anything effectively?
Yeah. And it's a Krillin.
That was kind of cool for
Robot
Tien,
Dad.
It sucked. Tien's elimination hurt for me, because I was just like, he's a badass.
But he did do some cool stuff.
He did some cool stuff, but he also did stupid stuff like he normally does. So, ranking-wise, first of all, rating for the series on your anime scale, as an anime overall.
As a Dragon Ball end cap for now, I would give it like a 6.5. I was going to give it a 7, but it dragged out for what I felt was too long. But, I mean, they all drag out. As an overall anime, my anime taste is a little more deep. And so...
Did you
the
listen to
end was
any
cool.
of the stories? Any of the character development? Any of the character building?
I did.
Or were you talking about that damn pillar for 16 episodes?
I said I gave
this pillar right here!
I gave it a 6.5. It's for something that is not specifically my taste. And when I say like intense, I mean like something that's a little more dark. Not that it wasn't dark, but the tonality of the entire film was very bright. There were some scenes that were really dark. I didn't get to see is it Zamasu art, which was really dark.
Yeah.
And so when I say dark, I mean like the themes in it. It's like
the art style.
I think that's the one.
Very dark. It was very light. It was very fluffy. It was a little too cheery.
It's hard to take things seriously as doom and gloom as they try to make them when whole
it's just like,
thing.
hurrah! And the Zinnies are like, oh look, I got a new tablet. We're killing a whole universe.
Listen, it's hard to take this whole series seriously when we're trying to whole dark and gloom thing when you have the main character who is a fucking idiot 80% throughout the entire thing, and you want to punch him in the face. While you do that, you die in the process.
Which is what made some of the other series throughout Dragon Ball Z cool, because I'm like, oh, Goku's like, oh no, everybody's gonna die. Now it's like, everybody's gonna die, who cares?
Mine's gonna be slightly higher than that. I agree with you on your points, but my scale's a little bit different because nostalgia outweighs the parts that I see as negatives, so I'm gonna give it 7.5.
Again, I'm agreeing with both your guys' points, and I'm going to agree with Krieger's rating with 7.5. But I am saying 7.5 because, like, one, I don't remember Goku being that fucking stupid. And like I said, I was very spotty here and there when it came to that. There were some choices that were made for certain characters that I felt like that should have been different when it came to the writing room. Certain parts here and there that could have been written differently, different, like, arcs and whatnot. It's just like I would have went up different about on some things if I was writing it, but like for me, like it's like nostalgia, it's all the callbacks and everything, especially the old non-canon Broly getting a nod, even though it's in female form. But I was like, ooh, yeah, it's old Broly. My, I guess, anime library isn't very vast.
And this is the first anime review that we've done for
as a whole. And like when it comes to me watching animes, like I feel like my library of anime isn't as vast as Jokesters, or I feel like you'd watch a couple more than that I would think.
Naruto. It's Naruto and Death Note. Those are my 3 that I've watched. And I haven't finished them.
And I have a lot of problems with a bunch of other ones, which I won't get into for other reasons.
Yeah, believe it. To summarize, the final thing that I wanted us to discuss was ranking the Dragon Ball series between Super, Z, and GT and Dragon Ball after we watched them. So I rank it as followed: Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Crap, GT.
Here's how I would rank it, and like this is just like where I was at growing up, because when I started watching Dragon Ball, I started watching Dragon Ball Z first. So when I would go back and watch Dragon Ball, I had a really rough time trying to get through it because it was just not the same story arcs or whatever. It's like going back and watching an origin story that was already kind of like explained in Dragon Ball Z, and it's hard for me. It was hard for me to like watch it as a kid. I don't understand why. I think what I was trying to get at is that like the earlier years of Dragon Ball are a little bit harder to watch. The later years of Dragon Ball are a bit easier to watch because that's more like Dragon Ball Z in my eyes. Yeah. It also really depends on when you're first introduced to the series, because like I was introduced, I think maybe at the start of the Frieza saga, if not like when they first started fighting him. To kind of get back on the topic of the ranking system, for me, from worst to best is obviously I would say Dragon Ball GT is the worst, because yes, it did come after Dragon Ball Z, and I actually started watching GT after Z ended, but I did not like the writing style. I did not like the stories. I don't know what was wrong with it. I just didn't enjoy it. Like, for me, like, okay, I think it was just the whole baby story that killed it for me. Like, I mean, I went back and watched the ending with the Omega Shenron, but I still wasn't impressed. Like, I was like, this is kind of dumb and shoehorned in.
Mustache Vegeta.
Oh, yeah. Above that would be Dragon Ball. Like I said, I had a problem watching it, but I would rather sit there and watch the entire series of Dragon Ball over Dragon Ball GT again. And when it comes to the last two, this is actually really close. And the only reason why Dragon Ball Z gets the number 2 spot is because I still kind of think the Buu saga for me kind of killed it. Because I feel like that's when the writing started kind of going towards more GT-like, but it wasn't as bad as GT yet. But the Buu arc had some bright moments in it. I've learned to appreciate Kid Buu. I've learned to appreciate him. I don't know. There's something about the Buu saga I did not like. Overall, it's GT, Dragon Ball Z, and then Super, obviously, because I feel like they've done so much better when it comes to the story, so much better when it comes to the writing, the character development, and everything. Some things here and there that I felt like could have been different, but it's better than the other 3, I would say. I think I found out another reason why I had a problem with GT. It's like, you're going into GT with adult Goku, and all of a sudden he's stuck as a kid through pretty much the entire series. I know they explain it, but for a kid like me who had a hard time watching Dragon Ball to begin with, I was like, oh, He's a kid again.
Yeah, so going back and watching Dragon Ball in the same way is kind of the dynamic. And it's because Goku's like an adult. And so, for me, my ranking, I put Dragon Ball at first. And then I grew up with Dragon Ball Z, so Z goes first. As I got older, they started putting Dragon Ball Z Kai, and so Dragon Ball Z Kai is going to be at the
We're not talking about. We're forgetting about the subsections here.
Okay,
We're talking about the main
go
stuff.
below GT then.
We're talking about the
That's
main.
where-
We're talking about the main four, not the like. Oh, here's this with the weird
Okay,
fucking hat
the
on
reason
it.
is so it goes Dragon Ball Z, but it's also tied with Dragon Ball Super, and it's because the nostalgia of Dragon Ball Z gets reinstituted at the end of Dragon Ball Super, and so they're like right in. I know they're both two different arcs, but I want to smash them together because I feel like I shouldn't have had to wait that long for all of this. And then GT is obviously at the bottom, but GT is at the bottom for this. And everybody puts it down there for a lot of reasons, but I really like the art style, so I get a lot of flack for that, but I like the art style in it. It's like, I like the dark theme, and it's
the monkey thing was
the
dumb,
monkey
and the flux waves and the machine.
The animation and the art style is actually not that bad. Like that's one good thing about it.
So the animation wasn't the problem.
It's the writing.
Yes.
The writing was shit. Because it wasn't the original team, was it? Or was it just they were forced to do it?
They were.
No, it wasn't.
Or was it the other team that did that?
It was a different studio.
Okay,
But
so
I
it was
did
a complete,
watch it.
that's why it was a different team.
I did watch it when I was a kid, and it was one of the few things when I was a kid that I was able to watch, and so I got some nostalgia there.
Well, I guess on that note, any more closing thoughts before we end this video, my friends?
I liked Dragon Ball.
Same. I like the historical
That is my
background
closing
behind it,
notes.
the cool, interesting dynamic of Dragon Ball. Before it turned into an alien saga.
And hopefully, eventually, we will have a part 2 to this when they expand Dragon Ball in a couple of years.
Or
You
maybe
mean
if we
you mean a
do-
part 3 after we watch the Broly movie? Because Broly movie is gonna be part 2.
That's
Well, that's not going to be a continuation of this, of like the
It
ranking.
technically,
Like
I mean,
Dragon Ball
the
Super.
ranking.
I mean, obviously, yeah, but never mind. I'm not even going on another tangent. This is MykeCheck'd 95 along with
Krieger Margin 1.
and
Jokester.
the hell did you throw?
A pen.
And
And we are signing out on this
goodbye.
video.
And see.